An exhaustive exploration of Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. Introduction, The Genesis of a Masterpiece. Published in 1937, in the shadow of the Great Depression, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich was not merely a book, it was a beacon of hope and a practical manifesto for personal achievement. Its enduring legacy, with over 100 million copies sold worldwide, is a testament to the potency of its central message, that the human mind, when properly disciplined and directed, is capable of achieving seemingly any goal it can conceive and believe. The book's title, while emphasizing material wealth, is a deliberate hook. Hill himself defines rich in a broader context, encompassing a life of abundance, spiritual fulfillment, harmonious relationships, and, fundamentally, the achievement of one's definite chief aim. The genesis of this work is as remarkable as its content. The project was initiated by the legendary industrialist and philanthropist Andrew Carnegie, who, in 1908, posed a challenge to the young journalist Napoleon Hill. Carnegie believed that the process of success could be distilled into a simple, concrete philosophy that could be used by any person, regardless of their education or station in life. He commissioned Hill to undertake the monumental task of interviewing and analyzing the most successful individuals of the era. Men like Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, John D. Rockefeller, and Charles M. Schwab, to uncover, systematize, and publish this universal formula. Hill dedicated over 25 years of his life to this mission. Think and Grow Rich is the crystallized essence of that quarter-century of research. It is not a collection of abstract theories, but a report on the common principles and habits Hill observed in hundreds of high achievers. The book is presented as a science of success, a series of 13 steps that, when mastered and applied in harmony, form a powerful engine for personal transformation and goal attainment. Hill was so confident in the universality of this formula that he insisted any person who follows it, with understanding and persistence, will inevitably achieve the object of their desire. This summary will deconstruct the book's philosophy, providing an in-depth analysis of each of the 13 steps, the underlying psychological mechanisms, the formidable obstacles one must overcome, primarily fear, and the synthesis of these principles into a coherent and actionable life strategy. The core philosophy, the alchemy of thought. Before embarking on the 13 steps, one must first grasp the foundational philosophy upon which they are built. Hill's entire system rests on the premise that thoughts are things. They are not ephemeral, impotent wisps of consciousness. They are tangible forces possessing magnetic and creative properties. A dominant thought, especially one charged with emotion and held with persistence, attracts its physical counterpart. This concept interfaces with several key ideas. 1. The subconscious mind. Hill viewed the subconscious as a fertile garden and a faithful servant. It does not reason independently, but accepts and acts upon any command, plan, or desire impressed upon it by the conscious mind, especially when fueled by strong emotion. Its primary function is to translate these dominating thoughts into their physical reality. It is the link to a higher intelligence. 2. Infinite intelligence. Hill posits the existence of a universal, creative energy, an infinite intelligence that permeates the cosmos. The human subconscious mind is the point of contact with this intelligence. Through the sixth sense, this higher mind communicates inspirations, hunches, and ideas that can guide one toward their goals. 3. The secret. Alluded to throughout the book, the secret is the golden thread that runs through every chapter. Hill deliberately withholds naming it explicitly, forcing the reader to engage deeply with the text to discover it for themselves. In essence, the secret is the synthesis of the entire philosophy, that by taking full control of one's own mind, impressing upon the subconscious a burning desire for a definite goal, and backing that desire with unwavering faith and persistent action, one can literally think themselves into wealth and success. The secret is that you become what you think about most of the time. This philosophical triad, conscious thought, subconscious power, and infinite intelligence, forms the metaphysical engine that drives the 13 practical steps. A detailed analysis of the 13 steps to riches. Hill's methodology is not a random collection of tips. It is a sequential, cumulative process. Each step builds upon the previous one, creating a powerful momentum. Step 1. Desire the starting point of all achievement. The journey to any accomplishment begins not with a wish, but with a burning desire. Hill is unequivocal: a mild wanting or a hopeful wish is worthless. The desire must be an all-consuming, white-hot obsession. It must be so intense that it becomes the dominating thought in one's mind, influencing every decision and action. To translate this abstract concept into a practical tool, Hill provides a definitive 6-step method for cultivating and channeling this desire toward the goal of riches. 1. Fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. Vague goals like, "I want to be rich," are insufficient. The mind requires a specific, quantitative target. I desire to accumulate $100,000 by January 1st, 2030. 2. Determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money. Hill emphasizes the universal principle of equivalent exchange. There are no free lunches. Success requires a price, whether it's time, effort, a specific service, or a product. You must define what you will provide. 3. Establish a definite date by which you intend to possess this money. A goal without a deadline is merely a dream. The timeline creates urgency and focuses the mind's power. 4. Create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, whether you are ready or not. Action is the bridge between the abstract and the concrete. You do not need to have a perfect plan from the start, but you must begin immediately. The plan can be revised en route, but action must be initiated now. 5. Write out a clear, concise statement of the amount of money, the time limit, what you will give in return, and your plan. This is the physical manifestation of your desire. It moves the goal from the realm of thought into the physical world. 6. Read this written statement aloud twice daily, once before retiring at night and once after rising in the morning. As you read, you must see, feel, and believe yourself already in possession of the money. This is not a rote recitation. It is a vivid emotional visualization exercise designed to saturate the subconscious mind with the reality of the goal, convincing it that the goal is already accomplished, thereby compelling it to find ways to manifest this internal reality externally. This ritual is the cornerstone of the entire philosophy. It combines desire, specificity, planning, and autosuggestion into a single daily discipline. Step 2. Faith. The visualization and belief in the attainment of desire. Faith is the head chemist of the mind. It is the vital catalyst that gives life, power, and action to the impulse of thought. Faith is the state of mind that allows you to see the invisible and believe in the incredible. It is the confident expectation that your desire is already on its path to manifestation. Hill argues that faith is not a mysterious, unattainable quality for a chosen few. It is a state of mind that can be cultivated through autosuggestion and repetition of positive affirmations. By continually affirming your goals and your ability to achieve them, you gradually build a bedrock of self-confidence. Faith performs several critical functions. It acts as the antenna that connects you to infinite intelligence. It protects you from negative influences, fear, and discouragement. It inspires enthusiasm, which is contagious and attracts cooperation from others. It is the fuel for persistence, enabling you to continue when faced with obstacles. Without faith, the burning desire of step 1 will quickly extinguish at the first sign of difficulty. Faith is the shield that protects the dream. Step 3. Autosuggestion, the medium for influencing the subconscious mind. Autosuggestion is the principle of communication between the conscious and the subconscious mind. It is the tool you use to deliberately program your subconscious with the desires and beliefs formulated in steps 1 and 2. It is the process of self-suggestion through which you voluntarily feed your mind with thoughts of a creative and positive nature. The written statement from step 1, when read aloud with emotion and feeling twice daily, is the primary vehicle for autosuggestion. You are not just reading words, you are giving a direct emotional command to your subconscious. You are saying, "This is my reality. Make it so." Hill emphasizes that the subconscious mind is literal and obedient. It will work tirelessly to bring into reality whatever is consistently impressed upon it, whether it is a positive goal or a negative fear. Therefore, the discipline of autosuggestion is not optional. It is the essential practice of taking control of your own mental programming and ensuring that your subconscious is working for you, not against you. Step 4. Specialized knowledge, personal experiences, or observations. Hill makes a crucial distinction between general knowledge and specialized knowledge. General knowledge, no matter how vast or academic, is largely useless for wealth accumulation unless it is organized and intelligently directed through a practical plan of action. Successful people are not necessarily those who know the most, but those who have taken the trouble to acquire the specialized knowledge needed for their field, and who know how to direct that knowledge toward a specific end. A degree in engineering is general knowledge. Using that knowledge to design a specific, marketable product is specialized knowledge. There are two key ways to acquire specialized knowledge. 1. Through one's own education and experience. 2. By leveraging the knowledge of others through a mastermind alliance. The most successful individuals understand that they do not need to know everything themselves. They need to know how to access and apply the knowledge held by others. This step moves the process from pure thought into the realm of practical competence. Step 5. Imagination, the workshop of the mind. This is the faculty where all plans are created. Hill calls it the workshop of the mind because it is here that raw desire and knowledge are synthesized into practical plans. He identifies two forms of imagination. Synthetic imagination. This faculty does not create anything new. Instead, it arranges old concepts, ideas, plans, and facts into new combinations. Most inventions and business plans are the result of synthetic imagination. The automobile, for instance, was not a new concept, but a new combination of the wagon, the internal combustion engine, and other existing technologies. Creative imagination. This is the faculty through which hunches and inspirations are received. It is the channel through which the subconscious mind and infinite intelligence communicate directly with the conscious mind. This is the source of truly novel ideas, the flash of genius that seems to come from nowhere. Creative imagination is most active when the conscious mind is working at high speed, for example, under intense desire, or when it is in a quiescent state, for example, during meditation or sleep. Both faculties become sharper with use. Ideas are the ultimate starting point of all fortunes, and imagination is the machine that produces them. A definite chief aim, backed by a burning desire, stimulates the imagination to work overtime, generating the plans necessary for its own fulfillment. Step 6. Organized planning. The crystallization of desire into action. A burning desire and a vivid imagination are useless without a concrete, organized plan. This step is about translating the ethereal into the executable. Hill provides extensive practical advice on building a plan, but the core of this principle is the formation of the Mastermind Alliance. The Mastermind Principle. Hill defines the mastermind as the coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. This is not a simple networking group. It is a symbiotic alliance where the collective intelligence and energy create a third, intangible, and powerful mind that can be tapped into by all members. When two or more minds cooperate in harmony, they create a psychic energy field that gives each individual access to knowledge, experience, and ideas that they do not possess on their own. This is the source of group genius. Hill's research concluded that no significant wealth was ever accumulated without the benefit of a mastermind. Andrew Carnegie's core team of associates was his primary secret. Beyond the mastermind, Hill advises on practical job-seeking strategies, the importance of making oneself indispensable, and the necessity of persistence in planning. He stresses that no plan is infallible. The number one cause of failure is the habit of quitting when faced with temporary defeat. If the first plan fails, you must create a new one. If that one fails, create another. The persistent person understands that failure is merely a lesson in what does not work, bringing them one step closer to the plan that will. Step 7. Decision. The mastery of procrastination. Hill's analysis of successful people revealed a universal trait, the habit of making decisions promptly and changing them slowly, if and when a change was warranted. The unsuccessful, by contrast, make decisions slowly, if at all, and change them frequently and quickly. Indecision is a seed that grows into the wheat of failure. It stems from the influence of others and a lack of confidence in one's own judgment. People who cannot make firm decisions are easily swayed by the opinions of relatives, friends, and acquaintances, who often project their own fears and limitations. The master of decision knows what they want, has a plan to get it, and makes decisions swiftly to advance that plan. They listen to counsel but reserve the final judgment for themselves. They understand that not making a decision is, in itself, a decision to be acted upon by outside circumstances. Cultivating decisiveness is a non-negotiable discipline for achievement. Step 8. Persistence, the sustained effort necessary to induce faith. Persistence is to desire what carbon is to steel. It is the element that gives it strength and endurance. It is the sustained, consistent action in the pursuit of a goal, regardless of obstacles, criticism, or setbacks. Persistence is not an occasional burst of effort. It is a relentless, day-in, day-out application of energy. Willpower and desire, when combined, create persistence. Hill provides a simple, four-step formula to cultivate this essential quality. 1. A definite purpose backed by a burning desire. You cannot be persistent for something you only mildly want. 2. A definite plan expressed in continuous action. A plan gives persistence a channel. You persist in doing something specific. 3. A mind closed tightly against all negative and discouraging influences. This includes negative suggestions from relatives, friends, and acquaintances. You must build a mental fortress around your purpose. 4. A friendly alliance with one or more persons who will encourage you to follow through with your plan and purpose. This is a direct application of the Mastermind principle to the task of sustaining morale. Persistence is the ultimate test of your faith and the physical proof of your desire. It is the factor that separates those who achieve from those who merely dream. Step 9. The power of the mastermind. The driving force. While introduced in Step 6, organized planning, the mastermind principle is so fundamental that Hill revisits it as a step in its own right, calling it the key to all the other principles. The driving force behind success is power, and power is developed through organized, intelligently directed effort. The Mastermind Alliance is the supreme vehicle for generating this power. It provides economic advantages, shared resources and capital, mental advantages, access to a collective pool of knowledge, experience, and creativity, spiritual advantages, the synergistic energy that boosts morale, faith, and persistence. No individual possesses all the ability, experience, and capital required for great achievement. The mastermind allows you to compensate for your weaknesses by aligning with those whose strengths complement your own. It is the practical mechanism through which the power of specialized knowledge, Step 4, is harnessed and amplified. Step 10. The mystery of sex transmutation, a vital creative force. This is often the most misunderstood principle in the book. Hill's concept of sex transmutation has nothing to do with celibacy or repression. Instead, it is about the channeling and redirection of powerful emotional energy. Hill identifies the human sex urge as the most powerful and compelling of all human desires. When driven by this desire, individuals develop enhanced magnetism, courage, and creative power. Sex transmutation is the psychological process of switching the mind from thoughts of purely physical expression to thoughts of some other, more creative nature. The energy that fuels physical attraction and procreation is immense. Hill argues that this same energy can be transmuted and used as a driving force in art, literature, business, or any other creative endeavor. When this vital energy is conserved and redirected, it can fuel genius, enhance personal magnetism, and provide the relentless drive necessary for great achievement. He contends that highly successful people are often those who have learned to sublimate a significant portion of their sexual energy into their work, giving them a distinct advantage in terms of passion, endurance, and creative output. Step 11. The subconscious mind, the connecting link. This step returns to the core philosophy, focusing on the mechanism of manifestation. The subconscious mind is the filing cabinet of the mind, storing every thought impulse that ever reached the conscious mind. More importantly, it is the connecting link between the conscious mind and infinite intelligence. It is a creative, non-judgmental force. You cannot directly reason with your subconscious, but you can impress upon it any plan, thought, or purpose you desire through the principle of autosuggestion. Step 3. It then takes these dominating thoughts and begins the work of translating them into their physical equivalent, drawing upon the vast resources of infinite intelligence to do so. The subconscious works day and night. By faithfully performing the ritual of reading your definite chief aim, you are planting the seed of desire in the most fertile soil imaginable. Your job is then to feed and water that seed with faith and persistence, and to follow the hunches and plans that arise from the subconscious as it works on your behalf. Step 12. The brain, a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. Building on the concept of the subconscious, Hill describes the brain not just as a processor, but as a complex electrochemical transmitter and receiver of thought vibrations. He theorizes that every thought impulse released by the brain creates vibrations that travel through the ether, much like a radio broadcast. The creative imagination, from step 5, is the receiving set of the brain capable of picking up the thought vibrations released by other brains. This concept explains the phenomenon of tuning in to an idea or receiving a hunch at a critical moment. It provides a scientific, though speculative, model for how the mastermind works. The harmonious alignment of multiple brains creates a powerful, shared thought frequency, allowing for the intuitive exchange of ideas. This principle underscores the importance of controlling your own thought emissions. By maintaining a positive mental attitude and a dominant focus on your goals, you broadcast a signal that attracts corresponding circumstances and people into your life. Step 13. The sixth sense, the door to the temple of wisdom. The 13th step is the apex of Hill's philosophy and the most subtle to define. The sixth sense is that element of creative imagination that defies all description. It is the faculty of intuition, the guardian angel that provides sudden warnings of danger or flashes of inspirational guidance. Hill states that the sixth sense cannot be summoned at will. It can only be developed, understood, and applied after one has mastered the previous 12 principles. It is the synthesized product of a disciplined mind. When you have learned to still your conscious mind through practice and have faithfully impressed your desires upon your subconscious, the sixth sense will begin to operate, providing you with creative ideas and guidance that seem to come from a source beyond yourself. This is the point where the individual mind fully harmonizes with infinite intelligence. It is the door through which one can receive infinite wisdom and counsel. While you cannot command it, you can place yourself in a receptive state through the daily practice of the principles, particularly through faith, persistence, and the Mastermind Alliance. The 6 ghosts of fear, conquering the internal enemy. A mind cluttered with fear cannot hold a burning desire. Before one can effectively apply the 13 steps, one must perform a brain cleansing, rooting out the fundamental fears that paralyze action and sabotage success. Hill identifies 6 basic fears that every human must conquer. 1. The fear of poverty. Hill calls this the most destructive of all fears. It is a state of mind that leads to indifference, doubt, worry, overcaution, and procrastination. It is the absolute antithesis of a burning desire for riches. 2. The fear of criticism. This fear robs one of initiative, destroys imagination, and limits individuality. The fear of what others might think or say prevents more people from pursuing their dreams than any other single factor. 3. The fear of ill health. This fear can lead to hypochondria and makes one susceptible to negative suggestions. It often stems from a preoccupation with illness and can actually help to manifest the very diseases one fears. 4. The fear of loss of love. This primitive fear creates jealousy, suspicion, and a tendency to over-possessiveness, which often drives away the very love one seeks to hold. 5. The fear of old age. This fear manifests as the apologetic mentality of slowing down and losing one's independence and physical attractiveness, often leading people to subconsciously slow down prematurely. 6. The fear of death. The most universal fear, rooted in the terror of the unknown. Hill argues that all these fears are states of mind. They are not realities. They are ghosts that have no power except the power we grant them through our thoughts. They are the products of indecision, doubt, and a lack of purpose. The antidote to fear. The only known antidote to fear is a mind fortified by a definite purpose, backed by a burning desire, and driven by a plan and persistence. A mind focused on what it wants has no room to entertain fantasies of what it fears. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the control of fear, the mastery of fear. By applying the 13 steps, one systematically builds a mental fortress that is impervious to these 6 basic fears. Synthesis and conclusion. The science of personal achievement. Think and Grow Rich is not a book to be read. It is a system to be lived. Its power lies not in any single principle, but in their synergistic combination. The steps are not isolated tools, but interconnected parts of a single engine. Desire provides the fuel. Faith provides the ignition. Autosuggestion is the control system. Specialized knowledge and imagination provide the blueprint. Organized planning and decision are the steering mechanism. Persistence is the constant velocity. The mastermind is the turbocharger. Sex transmutation provides an extra boost of power. The subconscious mind, the brain, and the sixth sense are the navigation system, connecting you to the universal intelligence that guides the entire journey. The riches one attains are therefore multifaceted. Yes, the process can and does lead to financial abundance, but more profoundly, the process itself enriches the individual. The person who develops a burning desire becomes more passionate. The person who cultivates faith becomes more confident and resilient. The person who practices decision and persistence forges an iron will and an indomitable character. The person who engages in a mastermind learns the power of harmony and service. In the final analysis, the ultimate secret of Think and Grow Rich is that you are the architect of your own reality. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. To have more in your life, you must first become more. You must think more clearly, desire more intensely, plan more effectively, and act more persistently. The book is a timeless guide to this alchemical process of self-transformation, proving that the greatest fortune any person can ever accumulate is the fortune of a powerful, purposeful, and disciplined mind.